Okay, Brandon, looking great here. Looking great. Okay, let's go there. Hardline looks great. Yeah, yeah. Your setup is really is beautiful. I mean, the actual face seems to be a pretty good rendering of the shape of his face. Although I'm a little concerned about this area right here. Gosh, I wish there was a PDF so we could look at these without having to scroll like this. I would love to see these together. But this area right here, okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, so you make your direction, I'm sorry, your guidelines, right? There's your guideline for the face, the front of the face, nose, symmetrical, right? So that goes like this. And then this. So in your lower right-hand quadrant, right here, I want you to take a look at the distance between the bottom of the eye and the jawline. Because right now yours seems to be much, much less. It seems like his face is a little bit longer right through here than what you're depicting. Look at also the distance between the bottom of the lip and the bottom of the chin. As yours is like, but really, really condensed. But this seems to be a little bit longer. And I think what happened is maybe you just kind of misjudged where the actual contour of the face is and where the shadow is. So that's kind of a tricky area right there. It kind of misshaped the face a little bit based on the way the shadow plays here, kind of reshaping his face. So I think that this area right here, I think that the bottom of his face is not elongated enough, and that again is just probably a shadow play right there. But try to address that. Um, the other thing, a couple of other things, is in this image right here, his eyes aren't as blue as they are depicted here, and that could be problematic in this regard. A lot of so your character, your subject is in character, right? So it very well may be that Leo has bright blue eyes, right? But he could very well be wearing contacts here, and it's just not a really great rendering. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of your color is off a little bit. Okay, he definitely has a very pink skin tone here, but I'm not getting that here. I'm getting more of darker, especially the shadow areas where you've got that depicted in pink. And I'm okay with you taking those liberties just as long as it's really, really consistent. Um, Okay, so what we want to do here now is we want to continue working with the shadows. And those are really, see those creases in the eyes? Those are prominent. Okay, that kind of, also take a look at how his eyes are looking. Right now, there's no whites. He's looking off to our right as we face the image. There's no whites of his eyes on the right-hand side over there. So right now, his eyes are not in the same direction. And I think that also kind of throws a little bit of a confusing twist into things. As right here, he seems to be looking directly into the camera, while here he is definitely not looking into the camera. So you kind of want to make some adjustments there. Work on your texture in the hair, in the eyelashes, add eyelashes. Yeah, and eyebrows, texture. All of this should really be depicted. All right, you could even get his stubble in there. There's a tutorial on how to create stubble. The shadows, the ear folds, the textures, the hair textures, the clothing textures. Definitely want to get that in. So keep working this. I mean, I'd say, honestly, I would say this illustration here is about a little bit less than half done, just as a kind of a a barometer of where we are. So I just the more detail, and here's in terms, and remember, shadow and highlight, you want to be really, really subtle. Otherwise, as you see, our characters start to look like zombies. So you want to be really subtle in that depiction of shadow and highlight. But otherwise, so there's your game plan, right? So keep working hard. Just keep in mind that quite typically, and I've mentioned this to a lot of other students, is quite typically with this technique, by the time you get to your fourth illustration for the stamp, your technique is solidified and superior to the way it was presented in the first stamp. So quite often it's going to really make a lot of sense to go back into your first stamp or maybe your first two stamps when you're done with all four and just start applying some of the same techniques that you have used in the third and fourth stamp. That only makes sense, right? All right, so great start, good job. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any clarifications. Good job, Brandon. Thank you very much.